don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Hello everybody. I was asked, actually by a former CO, what was the strangest prison I was in when I was in Missouri. Now I haven't been in all of them, so some people may disagree with me on this, but I'm going to have to say Potosi Correctional Center. When you first get there, the first thing you'll notice is how small it is. It's not a big prison. It holds like 800 people. The next thing you'll notice is that everything is connected. You know, like the housing unit 5 and 6 are connected to each other, and then that's connected to medical, and then everything, all the buildings are connected to one another, and it's kind of like in a circle. Now most people, when they get a visit, they go to the edge of the prison. The visits is like right at the edge of the prison. In Potosi, your people have to come in, go upstairs, go down, it's like a bridge actually, it goes across, and they come down, and they're right next to the chapel. I believe it's the chapel right next to the visiting room is. So, you visit your people in the middle of the prison. This is crazy. Everything is ran off of buttons. When I first got there, they had these buttons in there, and it was right next to the sink and the mirror and everything, and there was a light. So I thought the button turned the light on. So I was in the hole. Potosi's a punishment camp. When you go there, you're going to do like 9 months in the hole before you get out in population. Then it's a step-up program, a little bit at a time. So I was pushing this button, next thing I know, COs are there. They said, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, "I can't get this light on." They said, "It's not to turn the light on. We turn the light on when we want to. That's a panic button." I said, "A panic button?" They said, "Yeah. If you have a medical emergency or you know, you're having problems in the cell with your cellie, you push this button." I'm thinking, if you're having problems in the cell with your cellie, you may not have a chance to push that button. Either way, you go through any gate, you got to push a button and wait till the control tower opens. Same in the visiting room. I remember the first visit, you know, my parents, they was used to when they went to the bathroom, they'd go in there and use the bathroom, and then they come right back out, you know. You go use the bathroom here, and you push a button, and see it opens it. And usually he sees you standing there, and he opens it immediately. But once you're inside, it may take him a minute. You know, they're in their little control bubble thing, you know, watching everybody. So my dad goes in there, uses the bathroom, and couldn't get out. He pushed the button, nobody was responding, and he about ready, said he's about ready to try to tear the door down, and finally the door opened. It just popped open. That's the way every single thing in there is. Every door you go to, you have to push it and wait for them to open it. It's not like a CO's walking around with a key to open it. You know, like in most other prisons, they have keys and they open gates and doors and everything else. Even other COs have to wait. So that's the first things you notice when you get there. It was originally made for 500 people. The next thing you're going to notice is that when you get there, well, let me back up a little bit. Death row used to be at Missouri State Penitentiary. When they built Potosi in the 90s, they moved death row there. What they didn't do was put them back on death row. They put them out in general population. put them all on medication. The first cellie I had when I got population, finally made population after 9 months in the hole and going through this step-up program and everything, was a CP. It stands for capital punishment. I think his number was like 101 or something like that. CP 101, something like that. And one morning, he's still sleeping. Well, he's just waking up. I'm sitting there watching TV, but I'm thinking, you know. And he says, he gets up and makes his coffee and everything. He goes, "Hey, Sally, wait. I can tell you're tripping on something. What are you tripping on?" And, because, I mean, if your Sally's tripping on something, you know, thinking about something, you kind of want to know, you know. You want to know if it's about you or not. And it was about him. And he says, I tell him, I said, "You do know that you're a CP?" He goes, "Yes, but I'm going to beat it." I didn't argue the point with him on that, and he didn't beat it. Trust me. I said, "So, what if you wake up in the morning, one morning, and you said, you're thinking to yourself, you know, I'm a goner. The state's going to get rid of me. I might as well take as many out as I can. Who's the first person you're going to see? It's going to be me." He said, "Man," he goes, "they got us on medication," and he goes, "most of us CPs, we have, we're more calm than you guys with you lifers." Which, come to find out, ended up being kind of true. You know, every evening they give these guys meds, I guess, that calms them down or does something to them. I've had 3 of them as cellies in the 2 years I was there. And like I said, the first 2, they thought they was going to beat it, at least get it reduced down to a life sentence or something. The third one, he didn't talk about it much. He didn't say anything about beating it or anything. He just worked out every day, you know, just about every day he worked out. And I worked out with him sometimes. But that is the next thing you notice. One day, I was going to go out there to work out, and this guy comes up to me and says, "Hey, Harvey, you still working out? Let's go smoke one." So we went over to this bench that was out in the yard, and we smoked. That night we got dropped on. In Missouri, I don't know how it is in other states, but in Missouri, they usually drop on you in the middle of the night. That's what they did this time. It was about 1 o'clock, and they give you 2 hours. And if you can't go in 2 hours, they write you up. Well, I couldn't go for a couple of reasons. One, I didn't want to go because I just smoked not long before that. Smoked that, you know. The second reason was this guy, this CO, he would just, when I'm trying to go, he'd have his face right down there by my junk, you know. And I'd ask him, and dude, back up a little bit. He goes, "No, you might have a hose going from a bottle down along your thing, you know." Come on, man. I said, you could check if you want, but I said, man, you don't need to have your mug right down there next to it. Anyway, I couldn't go, and I got rolled up, and that's just as good as being dirty, you know. And but they got 7 working days to team you and find you guilty or not guilty or whatever, and they forgot to team me. I got very lucky on that one. But Potosi Correctional Center is kind of over there by St. Louis, but kind of south of it, and Mineral Point. And some of the COs that worked in there, there's one, a CO Warren. And I remember when we first got there, they drove the van into this sally port, made us all get out and stand with our hands against the walls after they uncuffed us. And there was a bunch of black guys with me, and on the bus they was talking about how we're going to a racist town and everything. And this Warren was asking them, said, you think, I heard you was talking on the bus how this is a racist town. And they didn't say nothing, you know. He said, well, I want to tell you something. It's nothing personal. It's nothing against blacks. I have a problem with all of you. First of all, you're in prison, you did something wrong. Second of all, you did something wrong in prison to get sent here from another prison. And he comes down to me and he said, what's your story? I said, it's a long story. He goes, I got time. And he goes, you're going to the hole? He goes, I'll be over there to ask you. What I found out about this guy later was that him and this other female CO would wait until you're out of the cell. They'd shake your cell down, pretend like you're shaking your cell down, and they'd shake it down, then they'd tear it up. But in the process, they would plant like a razor blade or something in there, and then they'd come back, have another CO come in later, shake you down, and find it, and write you up. A lot of people was getting number 3s. And I just got lucky I didn't. But he did one time in the hole find a lighter on me. And they was doing a major shakedown in the hole. And he takes it, looks at it, flicks it and turns it on. He goes, I've been needing a lighter, thank you. But he just takes the lighter, like I said, and flicked it on, looked at it and said, thank you. I've been needing a lighter. He just takes it. He could have roped me up, but he didn't. So, I guess in some ways, I think he only went after certain people is what I think. But Potosi, over that glass thing working. But, so, the people who was wanting to know about the craziest prison, the strangest prison, this is one of them. Oh, and while I was there, well, it was right after I left that they did this, but while I was there, like I said, the CPs were there, and that's where they held the execution. COs started complaining that they was getting to know those on CP because they're out in population, and that it was bothering them mentally. So even though CPs are still in Potosi, they now take them to Bonne Terre, Missouri to execute them. It didn't matter how much we complained about getting to know these people and playing cards with them and working out with them and stuff. And then they're doing them in, you know. But as soon as the CO started complaining about it, it was an issue and they fixed it. Anyway, that was about Potosi Correctional Center, and the CO, the former CO that asked about this, I hope this answered your questions that you had about the strangest prison in Missouri. And as far as CPs go, it might be the strangest one in the United States. But thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.